Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Infinity Countdown Prime Issue 1. And this was a pretty good setting up for what's going on with the Infinity Stones and what's going to be who are the big players are going to be in Infinity Countdown and what's going on with that. So I really liked how this was set up. So we start off and we get kind of where Logan is at the moment, and he's pretty much out in the middle of nowhere. He specifically put himself there because he knew that Ultron's army was tracking him, and they wanted him for his space stone. And it looks like they didn't exactly understand what kind of stone he had at that point, because they tried to capture him, but he was using it to teleport around and just whoop ass. So Wolverine's good at what he does. But when he starts like teleporting around and doing everything, he's just kicking all kinds of ass. So that was pretty cool. And of course, after he's pretty much taken down Ultron's little party to come after him, Loki comes up, slashes him on the face to make sure it's the real Logan, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had to make sure." It's kind of that kind of funny thing that you always see in kind of like horror movies, but you would see it also happen in superhero things because everybody dies, but who knows? Clones, undead zombie things, vampires, whatever. So, yes, Loki did it in his own kind of holish way possible. And then Logan responded in kind of was crazy. I'm like, holy shit, it looks like he almost killed Loki. But he pretty much jammed his claws right under his chin and took out one of his eyes. And Loki took it pretty well. And he's like, oh, okay. He was still trying to be kind of nice. And granted, I understand that Loki's been trying to rehabilitate his image throughout, but he wanted something from Logan, the Space Stone. And I just liked how he's trying to appeal to Logan, but Logan's going, no, if I can use this stone and use the other stones to help mutants, I'm going to do that. So that we don't get screwed over. But Loki, being a voice of kind of reasoned caution, is going, well, you could either do that, or it could lead to a catastrophe that comes to your and your kind's door. Makes sense. But of course, Logan's not having any of it, and a great line is when Loki calls him an intemperate woolly dwarf. It's just, I love it when that kind of mix-up happens with an Asgardian god using their kind of thing, going, you know what, Logan's kind of short, he's kind of hairy, he's kind of a dwarf to that, to Loki. It was just a really funny line. So, of course, he's going, well, the other stone holders are going to come after you. He goes, yeah, they got more pockets to put it in. And then he teleports himself away. Loki, of course, is kind of pissed off about that. He's kind of grumbling, but he's going, whatever. Takes out the other one. He's like, I know that I keep lying, and that's why people aren't believing me, but damn, okay. So then we get to the next holder of the stone, a Mr. Turk, who is a kind of low-level Daredevil villain. He has the Mind Stone, and we see him going through and just using it to win at gambling and everything. It's kind of interesting because he probably has never had this kind of power before, and he's kind of testing it out and seeing what's going on. So he's definitely going to be one to watch within this event because everybody is probably going to underestimate him. And him using the Mind Stone, that's going to open up some interesting possibilities. Then we get to the Reality Stone, which said in the comic is that it's not actually in the reality, even though Captain Marvel has found it. A lot of different Captain Marvels have found it. And I think it's kind of spread throughout all the different realities, which definitely is a big kind of obstacle for whoever is going to be the one to unite all the stones. And them saying that whoever, the person narrating saying that somebody does not want these things found. Yeah, that's a pretty big thing to do. Because then we move to the Power Stone, which is the size of a mountain, and currently with the Nova Corps, it's like, oh yeah. It's interesting that the Power Stone, which is supposed to confer power, is in such an unwieldy kind of form. It's really kind of funny. And then we find out that the Fraternity of Raptors and the Chitauri have learned about the Nova Corps having it and are going to go wage war for this one stone. So, okay, that's pretty cool. We then get to see Gamera arguing with Quill because she wants to find the Soul Stone because part of her is trapped inside of it. And Quill's going, well, I understand that, but we've got people coming for, we've got problems with Groot, we've got other things going on, we kind of have to figure out the order of what's going on. But of course, since the stones are drawing champions to themselves to wield to unite themselves, it's gonna come up sooner or later. Then we get to the Time Stone and talking about how time is acting kind of weird, how planet Sakaar has somehow popped up out of nowhere, and of course we go further in and saying that they don't know where the stone is, but that would be the first place to look, and we see the return of the Super Skrull. And he is the one that's got the Time Stone, and he's the one he wants to use it to erase the humiliations of the Skrulls. So that's a pretty big thing, and I kind of like it because he's an interesting villain. Now, granted, I know he's tied up with the Fantastic Four, but with all the stuff that can go on with Skrulls, I like that he's being brought in as one of the ones wielding them. Then we get to another part where we see Adam Warlock is coming back into play because the narrator's going, well, we've got to see how he is because he's tied to the Soul Gem. And he pops up and everyone's freaking out, and then he's like, you, what year is it? 2018. And he's like, wonderful. Whoa. And then we get some update on Thanos showing that he's conquered the Chitauri and will probably be, of course, looking for the Infinity Stones because he's always tied to them. Then we get towards the end of this issue, and we see that someone is talking on the planet of Ego. I was like, oh, okay. And we find out that it's Magnus, the evil twin of Adam Warlock. And he's got the frickin' head of the Contemplator, and he's pretty much monologuing, being like, I got this Soul Gem. And he's going, well, you know, dude, you kind of had that, but I've kind of made sure you did it so that all kind of greedy eyes would be on you when you got it. I'm going, okay, we see something going up behind the dude's like, I'm not. Magnus is like, I'm not afraid of Thanos, man. Whatever. Dude comes up behind, and we get that Ultron Pym, Pimtron? Hanktron? Ultra Pym? I don't know. Ultron / Hank Pym comes up behind him and kills him. And it's like, whoa. Now, I've been reading for a while, but I don't know exactly when that thing with like Ultron Pym happened. And I wasn't really out of comics at all. I was just reading certain ones, but I'm like, okay, hopefully they dive a lot deeper into this because it seems like it's going to be a pivotal thing with these. So, Ultron has decided to take the Soul Stone. He's talking to the Contemplator dude, and he's like, okay, impress me. And he goes, well, soon I'm going to take a vow of silence, so whatever. And he's like, just for a thought though, don't touch that. Talking about the Soul Stone, and he touches it, he gets zapped, and he's going, well, maybe all's not lost for you. He's like, of course it isn't. He's like, well, I'm talking to the man, not the machine dude. And, of course, Ultron then zaps the head, destroying it, I believe, and he goes, well, now it's time for me to rewrite the universe. And then we see something very interesting in that Pym is inside the Soul Stone. And he's not half Ultron or anything, it's Hank Pym. And he's like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? Ultron's got the frickin' Soul Stone, and he's going to try and get all the rest of them and rewrite history to where rewrite the universe for him to be God, pretty much. But of course, we then see, someone calls behind him and welcomes him into the Soul World, and it's Gamera's other part, looking very old. So, evidently a lot of time has passed. He goes, well, welcome to your spiritual awakening. You'll be trapped here forever. But, of course, this is comics, so we'll kind of have to see what happens. So this does a very good job of setting up who the players are with the Soul Stone, not the Soul Stones, the Infinity Stones, and how their objectives are, at least at the moment. That, of course, can change depending upon what kind of things happen to the people that are holding the stones, and if other players come in and take them and start shifting the balance of power. So, we're talking about something going on with the whole fabric of reality, that this has been like the 9th time the reality's been rewritten, and I like that they're kind of referencing that, so something big's happening. These stones are called forth for a reason. Something is calling them, something's going to happen, so I think this does a good job of setting that up, and I'm interested to see kind of how this is going to affect other titles and what's going to be going on with it. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.